Ahoy Rum Explorers, I'm Nia and I'm back. Thank you so much to all the crew members for checking up on me. I got basically like a black plague situation, was sick for 2 weeks, totally exhausted, but totally worth it. 3 weeks of traveling up to Michigan, Grand Rapids, then to Salt Lake, Utah, and then to Orlando for the incredible May the 4th. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on those different videos that I'll be putting out. But today we're exploring a very cool bottle, Dorley's 14-year-old Barbadian Rum. So today we're going to talk about the history of Dorley's, the history of the distillery, and the Foursquare connection. So grab a drink and come plunder some rum with me. Got your drink? It's officially rum time. So again, today we're gonna explore Dorley's 14-year-old rum. If you're not familiar with this bottle and you're here in the US, it's because this bottle can be rarely found here in the US. We picked this bottle up from our trip in Barbados, and yes, I have been anxiously waiting to open this bottle until my official review. So a little bit of history of Dorley's. They have been making this specific rum since 1920. And in 1993, Richard Seal and Co. decided to buy this distillery as they were going out of business. The other incredible thing is that this was the very first rum exported from Barbados to the world, so it's pretty cool. Now, as far as this specific bottle, there's a couple collections I'm sure you're seeing on the internet. If you're a rum fan or not, definitely need to discuss those different options. These Dorley bottle start at 5 years and then go all the way up to this 14-year-old rum. Now this one specifically is a blend of pot and column still rums. It is a true 14-year-old rum because they are aged for 14 years in ex-bourbon casks, and then for a specific amount of time that's not discussed, in ex-Madeira. So the bottle does look quite similar to the ECS bottles, the Foursquare Exceptional Cask Series bottles. So I'm really excited to try this one. It is quite comparable to those because a lot of those actually start at year 12 and this one's a 14. Now let's wait for this amazing pop. As far as presentation, let me tell you, this is incredible. This gorgeous blue macaw is an homage to the original distillery, and from the 5-year to the 14-year, they have different types of macaws. They decided to use the blue one on the 14th because apparently the blue macaw, and let me see here, the scarlet macaw appeared on the very first bottles of Dorley's rum. True to his legacy, we continue to choose the macaw for the expression of Dorley's rum. The extremely rare blue-throated macaw is our choice to adorn Dorley's 14-year-old rum. The other cool thing is, oh, I just noticed, it says here that they have been making rum since 1908. There you go, folks. That's why you don't trust the internet and everything you read on it, because that's wrong. Now, I heard in a couple places on the internet that back in the day, it only came like in this bottle, but I guess they stepped it up and made a cool little bottle in case you wanted to present and be all bougie like that and bring it to people. There's nothing really inside besides this pretty cool bottle and their very numerous amounts of awards in the back, a little bit of history of the bottle, and then obviously the blue-throated macaw, which I do enjoy boxes. They look really nice, especially when you have a bar, which I don't have yet, but we'll get there. So let's go ahead and enjoy this pop. Oh, that's a good one. If you've noticed, there also has been a change in the cork. As far as my understanding, they went from actual corks to plastic corks because there was a lot of complaints of corks breaking. So you know what? I don't like particles in my rum. Actually, I'm not a big stickler. I guess I would strain it if push came to shove. But Richard Seal got a lot of complaints, so they decided to go forward with the plastic corks, which is perfectly fine. Now, so I keep on mentioning Richard Seal because Dorley's was bought out in 1993. That's the 4 square connection. If you weren't familiar, I always like to bring those little quirks up. And then I don't know if they changed the recipe. Ooh, that was a pirate pour. I don't know if they changed the recipe, but in one of the reviews that I read, it said that they do add coloring to this in a very small amount, and that it was disclosed on the bottle. I have looked everywhere on this bottle and there's nothing here. So that makes me a little worried, but I am excited to try this rum. Still, I'm not those people that get super pissed off if they don't disclose the sugar. If your rum is good, it's good. The other thing I've noticed, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but a lot of the reviews, that was almost a party foul. A lot of the reviews of Dorley's is people getting samples. This bottle was paid with my money. I'm gonna give you a brutal honest review on Foursquare, as I have before. The exceptional cask series bottles that I've gotten, I've paid with my own money. So if I say I don't like the rum, I'm not gonna like it. But don't steer away, because let me tell you, it doesn't necessarily mean that you won't like it. I just personally didn't think, based on the amount that I paid for, that it was worth. Especially, I think if I remember correctly, the Emprey was a good rum, but for the price, over $100, like, I expect something great for $100. A good old Benjamin, right? So this one's a little bit different. I think we actually paid like $40 or $50 at the airport, which was quite surprising. But again, you can't find this in the US as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm sure people like Danny from Rum Collections, I'm sure he finds all kinds of crazy bottles of this and other stuff, because if you follow him on the internet, he has a ton of bottles that I don't know how he gets his hands on. As you can see, the color, it's a rich amber with a tint of red there, which is quite interesting. I wonder if that's from the ex Madeira casks. I am expecting quite an enjoyable rum, and I do have a rum coming up in straight up ex Madeira from Mount Gay, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that one. So let's start with the neat. I am getting some like sweet notes, marzipan, dried fruits, and immediately nothing. It kind of smells like it does smell like the exceptional cask series. It's quite impressive. As far as the legs, they're pretty lanky, but less than I expected. There's really no beating at the top. It's actually, the legs are moving quite fast for a 12-year-old rum. That's surprising, but let's go ahead and try it in the neat glass. Cheers. Wow, that's quite enjoyable. So first portion of my palate, it detects like a pretty hot rum. At the end of my palate, there's some like sweetness to it, like marzipan or dried fruit, a little bit of like I want to say like a soda or pop flavoring, like that kind of natural sweetness, like when you go to South America and you drink regular cola with like sugarcane sugar. There's some oiliness at the top of my palate. This is really good. By the way, the other thing that I found really interesting is this is 48%. The other rums don't exceed 40, and some of them are even, and they don't exceed 40. So if you like hotter spirits, I highly recommend this one, because you will enjoy this one. I did feel a hug, but it didn't linger too long. It's very, very smooth, but man, just the oiliness at the top of my palate and how it lingers was beautiful. It's a beautiful rum. Wow, this is really good. I'm gonna have to take another swig. Cheers. And it's interesting, after it lingers on the top of my palate and you let it sit there for a little bit on your tongue, you do get a little bit of acidity at the end, kind of like lemon or grapefruit, but not overpowering. But still, there's such a long linger on the top of your palate as well. That's really good. Wow, this is incredible. Now let's try on the Glencairn. Let's see the legs here. See, on the Glencairn, there is a little bit of beating on the top. The legs are taking quite a bit to drip down. So we got some lanky legs. Now let me nose it. Oh yeah, it's like full vanilla right now. Full vanilla. I am getting a little bit of tobacco, like cigar. It's crazy how different it is from one to the other. I am getting like a sweetness of like root beer, kind of like that in this one too, which is quite unique. But again, these are my notes. This is very personal. You might nose this or try this and it'll be completely different. So don't feel, once again, I know I always say it, but don't feel like you have to match anybody. You can have any kind of crazy smells. Like I've even smelled or nosed in one of the Rum's Fisher Price toys. So, you know, this is very personal. Everybody's nose is different. But yeah, I'm getting like some like sugarcane sweetness. Yeah, a lot of sweetness, like dried fruits, marzipan, but like root beer. Okay, let's try this one. Cheers. Wow. I thought it would be smoother in this one, but it's actually smoother in this one. I did get a little bit of a burn, but not as bad as with this one. Maybe because I had just poured it and the alcohol was still dissipating, but I really enjoy it. Wow. Shoot. So I'm definitely gonna put in a quick video here so you can see all the little details on this bottle. It's quite beautifully made. Again, it reminds us of the Exceptional Cast series, which is great. If you have not seen those videos, I'll put the card up above so you can watch the latest one, because I think that one was my favorite, even though it wasn't as heavy on the White Zinfandel as I thought, or in the Zinfandel as I thought. So definitely check that out. I think this is worth, absolutely. For what we paid, this is incredible. If you can get your hands on this, highly recommend this. If you're here from the whiskey or bourbon world, highly recommend this rum as a crossover rum. I think you'll definitely enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, make sure you comment down below, because I would love to hear from my other friends on the other side of the spirit world, and not like ghost spirit world, but like the people that like whiskeys and bourbons. I would love to hear if you like my recommendations. That will make my day for sure. But thank you so much for watching. This is gonna be a short and sweet one. I hope everybody's doing amazing. Again, make sure you hit the subscribe button so I can welcome you on board and you can be a crew member. And I look forward to the next rum. Cheers. Hey, do you like animals as much as I do? If you love bottles with cool animals on it, check this one out. That bottle's really good and it has some pretty cool animals. Enjoy!